Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. So, we have a question that I got from one of our students, Dan Yotis, who's a brand new guy. And he has a little issue or a question about how far the router bit goes into the router. And he wrote me quite a long email, and I just figured I'd kind of condense this. I actually talked to him on the phone and walked him through it. And after I explained it to him, it made a lot of sense. So he's got basically a rigid palm router, kind of the rigid version of our DeWalt or a Porter Cable palm router. And there's several different makers of them. And because he was trying to figure out the depth of the router bit, he's got our three router bits, baby. If you can zoom in on these, he's got our 90, our 60, and our profile bit, and they're all three different lengths. So he was wanting to know how far to put them into the router in order to have consistency on the depth of the bit, which is really a good question. So let me answer that. In some cases, you'll bottom it out, but in other cases, you won't. And the reason that is because these are two different routers. This is our little DeWalt Palm router, DWP611. This is an older Porter Cable. I don't have the base on it, but an older Porter Cable 1002 model. It's actually a discontinued model, but I'm using it just for display purposes. So this is our longest, this is the longest bit of the three, which is the profile bit. If I put that in here in the DeWalt and I bottom it out, that's in way too far, because the hole that's drilled in that shaft is very deep. I wouldn't want it in near that far. If I did, then I would have to have the base. Let me show you what I mean by this. I would have to have this base way down in order to get any kind of depth at all. I would have to have this base way down, and yeah, that's maybe 1/4 of an inch. Even with my glasses off, I can tell. But see how the router motor is close to here? It blocks off your vision. So I wouldn't want the bit near that far in there, and it doesn't need to be. If it's in there, the main thing is if the bit is into the collet or the shaft a 1/2 inch, that's plenty. That's all you really absolutely have to have. Now, in contrast, let me show you how far it goes in on this one. This is the bigger router, the Porter Cable. That's bottomed out right there.
Put up a little bit.
And so here, yes, it would be bottomed out, and that gives you, that gives you still tons of room. And I would like it to actually go in a little bit further. Now, if you use a shorter bit, you use the 90 degree. That may be a little bit too far in. Again, you might be blocking off your vision.
Put up. Oh, there you go.
You might be blocking off your vision. So I'd probably only go in, again, if you go in a 1/2 inch, that's all you really need. So the basic thing is that as far as the depth of your bit, it really has no bearing on going in deep into that shaft. That really doesn't have anything to do with it. As far as the setting the depth, if you've only got one router, let's say this is the only router that you have, and you're going to carve with all your bits. Again, I'm going to put that in there, but I'm only going to put it in, I don't know, that's probably about 1 inch, which is plenty far enough. Now I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what the heck I'm doing. And I would be tightening that up with a wrench, of course. I'm just for speed, I'm trying to not have to do that. If you're going to set the depth of your cutter, you want to always, especially if you're putting different cutters in this, that would be my 0 point. And then from there, and that's with the bit right at the surface of the wood, and then I would set depth from there. I would drop it down. For me, I use an eyeball, and that is probably somewhere around 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 to 1/4 of an inch. And then that would be my depth setting. Now, if I choose to, if this is the only router I have, and I choose to put a different router bit in there, sorry if I'm moving around too quick on you, babe. Here's my 90 degree V-groove for my background. I put that in there. Again, I always take the base off. I just like it better that way. If I put that in there and I bottom that out, obviously that's way too far in. I'm just going to put it in there, something like that, and then tighten that thing up. I'm just finger tight for now. You would use your wrench, again, just for speed. Now, again, if I'm going to set the depth on that, I got to get back to my 0 point, which is there. That's right at the surface of the board. Can you see all that okay, babe?
I think so.
Good.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to set my depth from there. Then I'm going to go down, again, I eyeball it, but if you want to go down 1/4 of an inch from there, you would use your whatever kind of system you have for setting your depth. But anyway, so don't get freaked out about the depth of how far it goes in, because it really, if it goes in 1/2 inch, you're good. You really don't need any more than that. It can go in further if you've got a deeper hole in your armature shaft. It can go in further if you want, but it doesn't have to. So it will depend on the router that you have, how deep that hole is into the armature shaft, and the length of your bit. So I hope that kind of clears it up for you. Once I explained it to Dan on the phone, it made sense to him. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. If you guys have any questions on it, hey, feel free to comment on this video or write me an email. You know how to get a hold of me, or give us a call. I'd be happy to walk you through it. But anyway, that basically is it. You just go in, as long as you're in that router shaft, 1/2 inch or more, you're going to be good to go. And then always, if you're changing bits, always start at the 0 point if you want to know where you're at depth-wise. For me, I just eyeball it, but I know a lot of you guys use the actual
micrometer.
The apparatus on there for, thank you from off screen, micrometer. Yes.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
So, anyway, hope that helps, guys. Okay, sign carver of the day. I know I'm going long on this. This is Paul's version of our Christmas tree sign that Vicky came up with, and I really like it. I like his version of it. It looks really cool. You can see that the top one is all green, and the only and then he just left the colors, just wood color in there, and it looks like he used a scroll saw or a bandsaw to cut his tree out, and then the bottom is all outset letters. So great job on that, Paul. I really like it. Terrific version of our little Christmas tree setup. Anyway, okay, good deal. So that is it for today. Sorry I went so long, you guys. So tomorrow, remember, we'll have the newsletter tomorrow. We'll be out in the studio. Dad and I will be out there filming tomorrow. We got, I think we got a really good subject for you guys. I think you'll get a lot out of it, especially you new people that, I don't want to spoil it. But anyway, watch tomorrow. You'll like it. Okay, all right, guys. Have a great night. Go make some sawdust and have a good time. So put your glasses on, though. You don't like sawdust in the eye. That's not a good time. Anyway, have a great day, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.